The Tigers traveled out of the country and they came back with more hardware. The Tiger Basketball Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, Tiger fans, to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with head coach Pat Skerry. And Coach, we went to your homeland and came back with more trophies as the Tigers win their second in-season tournament in 10 days, winning the Belfast Hall of Fame Classic. Congratulations, your team played tremendously, and it was a great experience for all. And the Tigers, again, 2 in-season tournaments in 10 days.
Yeah, I was proud of the guys, happy for the program, our athletics, our great university. It was a good experience, especially the actual games, as you know, with the electric atmosphere in the arena, the crowds, and exciting games. So we were fortunate. We're not going to give them back because we were fortunate, but they, I definitely feel like it's something that's going to benefit us later on come conference tournament time.
All right, let's start from the first game against LaSalle, a team that had just come off a huge win over Temple. And you guys were nip and tuck with them the entire game. You trailed for most of the ballgame. I think you led for maybe a total of 56 seconds going into the last 5 minutes of the game. Then you pull away at the end, winning by 7. That was a very good basketball team you beat.
Yeah, that was, when I watched that game heading back on the flight, I thought it was a heavyweight battle, but both teams played well. They're good. We knew they were good. I thought our depth allowed us to pull away. Brian Starr made a big shot with a couple minutes to go late in the shot clock. Big shot after a side out, and then we just kind of hung in. Our depth, I thought, allowed us to make the guy B.J. Johnson and Pookie Powell, 2 really good players, kind of get to them. But yeah, we were excited. They were excited. We were fortunate to come out victorious.
The game started with B.J. Johnson hitting at 2, then hitting at 3 in the first 35 seconds, and you thought, this guy's going to go off, and it could be a long day. But you guys, I think he was something like, after that 2-for-2 start, was 3 of 19, I think, from the field.
Yeah, we made him take a lot of, I thought, tough twos. He's good. He measures you, he posts, he drives it, he shoots, so we tried to put different guys on him. I thought Eddie Keith did an excellent job on him. Really good job.
And he was giving up inches to B.J. Johnson also.
Yeah, and Eddie's just playing. His value doesn't always show up in stats. His tenacity, his pride, his energy is something that really ignites us. And he's kind of like right now, if he's probably one of those guys, if you're on the other team, you don't like them, you're fans, but if you're a Towson fan, like, and you play with him, you love him. He's letting it all hang out, you know, and just kind of bringing it, and he's one of the hardest playing, if not hardest playing guys we've ever had, and we've had some guys that play pretty hard.
Oh, no question. He reminds me, go back to the early 90s, Terrence Jacobs, who played as hard as anybody at Towson, and Eddie is that type of a guy as far as, you know, what he brings every night. Yep. Now, the other thing that impressed me was, and this has been a problem with Towson teams in the past, free throw shooting down the stretch, but against LaSalle, you guys came through.
Yeah, Zane was really, really good, and he should be. He's a terrific player. We're at like 70% as a team right now, which is good. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, it's not as high nationally as I would think it should be, but if we can stay there or slightly above it, that we'll over the course of, you know, mid-30 games, high 30 games, we'll be where we need to be.
All right, now you move to the championship game. You take on Manhattan. Their conference was hosting the tournament, so Manhattan maybe had a couple of advantages that other teams didn't have. They got there earlier than everybody else, but they were missing their best player, who apparently forgot his passport at the airport or didn't bring it to the airport, so he wasn't playing. But this was a tough ball game. Another one where you did not lead very much in the game, but when it all came down, Mike Morcell, for the fourth time in his career, hits a game winner at the buzzer.
Yeah, he certainly is a clutch player that likes the moment. There's no question about that. We've got a couple of those, him, Zane, et cetera, which is big. Manhattan's good. They've played a tough schedule. They had a tough trip. We were in Florida. They lost a couple of one-possession games that easily could have won. They'll be right at the top of the MAC. And in a quick turnaround, they're tough to play against because all their trapping and pressure, and they make the game really chaotic. And I thought we did a really poor job, especially in the first half. 25 of their 31 points were off our turnovers. Then the second half, we tied it like 6 or 7 times until we took the lead and just couldn't get over the hump. We just would miss a couple free throws. We missed a couple dunks. And then to their credit, they made some big shots late in shot clock. You know, they made a lot of threes and we didn't. But we hung in there and found a way. Our effort on the backboard was outstanding. We won by 19 on the glass, and it was a great win against a good ball club. All these neutral victories that we've had have been against good teams, type of games you're going to need to win in Charleston. So hopefully that's something the guys file in the memory bank, and we can pull that out, having been in those situations later on.
So now you've won. You had to play 3 games in Florida. So it was much like Charleston. You have to win 3 games to achieve your ultimate goal. This one, back-to-back games, just 2, but you had to travel a long way to get those 2 victories. So it was an exhausting trip from a physical standpoint, and your team came through. That shows you a lot.
Yeah, we got tough guys. I mean, we tried to do that a little bit on our trip to Canada in the summer. Every one of my coaching friends told me I was crazy. I played 5 games in 5 days. We had a day we got there, and the day we left, we didn't play. But we played every other day, and people said, you just can't do that. But, you know, that's something we try to, hey, we can have results, we can have excuses, but we can't have both. That's something we try to hammer home to these guys.
Well, 2 for 2 in tournaments this year. They'll get a 3rd chance in the first weekend in March. But as for now, the Tigers have the entire conference season ahead and some very, very key non-conference games coming up at home at CQ Arena. Join us next time for the next edition of the Tiger Basketball Report, when Coach Skerry and I will talk about the Tigers' games against the Bears of Morgan State and the Retrievers of UMBC. For head coach Pat Skerry, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.